A rather interesting question. Where would you move to if you were to leave the United States? To begin with, put your answer in the comment section, please. And before I go to answer the question directly, let's actually look at some data. Now, for this question to be posed in the first place, that is a reflection upon our absence of safety and forward progress and future perspectives. So, to make sense out of it, let's look at the Global Peace Index, which is led by Iceland, Denmark, and Ireland, among other countries who are deemed to be safer than the United States. In fact, so much safer that the United States is ranked 131st out of 163 countries evaluated based on 23 indicators and then rank ordered as to how safe they actually are. This should give us pause for concern and consideration because 131st out of 163 is not just embarrassing, it is downright dangerous and shows us that we do have a lot of work to do. And the question is, how are we actually going to address that kind of work? Before we talk about the work that we need to do here in the United States, let's look at the visual layout of the top 10 countries that are deemed to be the safest in the world. And to answer the question now, personally, I would choose New Zealand. Having never been there, it still has quite an appeal to me given the geographic location, the topography, and from what I understand, New Zealand is very much a nation that is interested and apt to outdoor activities and sports, which is something that personally appeals to me. Now, I'm sure that New Zealand doesn't come without its issues, and since I do not understand the social fabric, of course, my mileage would vary. I do understand that Iceland is in first spot, considering that Iceland has a reputation of working diligently on social progress and social improvements, having erased the gender pay gap, I believe, completely, welcoming and encouraging to the LGBTQ community, understanding the value of its native people, as well as the BIPOC community at large. Of course, mileage will vary. There is no such thing as perfection, but at least they are trying. If you have any experiences, of course, with any of these nations, again, put it in the comment section, please. Other than that, Portugal, I believe, is one of the countries that a lot of Americans are fascinated by and many have moved to. And I think therein already lie a couple of considerations. To begin with, packing up and leaving, dissolving your household and having enough savings derived through that or prior savings, that is reserved for the privileged few. The majority can't leave. And even if you have the ability to just pack up and go, it's easy on paper, not quite that simple in reality. Coming from somebody who's done it in reverse, you're leaving everything that made you behind. You are inevitably a product of your society, and you're going somewhere with the intention of A, being safer and having a more positive future outlook, but you're also immersing yourself in the social fabric of another country. And for many Americans, this has gone sideways in a sense that they have come to recognize that, well, I thought that'd be great, but actually I couldn't identify with the society, the people of the country to which I relocated. So they came back. So the decision to completely get out of here is not one to make just on a snap decision or to take that very lightly. And that still is rooted in the privilege that some people have. So the majority, with the absence of the privilege, returns us back to what is the kind of work that we actually need to do. And the work is simply that we need to use the one tool that we still have, and that is to vote. And I've been barking up the tree for a long time. I'm not going to run you through this all over again. But from a simple perspective of what is going to be doable without collateral damage, voting is the one thing. We can always escalate from there if need be, which hopefully there will not be such need. But any escalation other than the pacifistic action of voting is going to carry collateral damage. So rather than going there, we better steer this ship, which currently looks more like the Titanic heading towards the iceberg, is by taking control of the rudder through voting. And yes, we are going to lose some states, we're going to lose cities and counties, because of vastly gerrymandered zoning, if you will, where we just won't have a fighting chance. But there are numerous states in the United States that have showcased what can happen with a Democratic supermajority, which it has its fair share of issues, and we need to fix those. But we can fix those later on. We currently have time to address the Democratic issues. We gotta fix the Republican issues that otherwise will take us down a path that we will likely not easily come back from. For that, watch my Project 2025 videos. We gotta vote. That's it. That's the message. Before we leave the country, or before we escalate. So take that for what it's worth. But thanks for asking the question. Really good one.